Hello and welcome to Speak Up, a podcast on racism. This is our first episode. My name is Oscar. Both my parents are German, but I was born in New Zealand and lived there for 12 years. I just recently moved to Germany, and have been here for 1.5 years, nearly two.
Hi, I'm Abdel. I'm originally Egyptian and lived in Egypt for about 7 years. I moved to Germany in 2016 with my parents and have been living here for around 8 years.
Hi, I'm Aisha. My parents are Indian, but I was born in the United States and have now lived in Germany for almost more than 10 years now.
Would like to start off today's episode on just talking about racism in general and what we think racism is.
Like just comparing our opinions to like some facts. And so what I want to start it off with is, how would you guys define racism?
I think racism might be something to use, like to discriminate a race, a religion, and nationality against someone, probably fueled on stereotypes. And that's like what I think it is.
I think stereotypes also has a big thing to do with racism. Oh, look, I'm going to use this as an example. Oh, Mexicans and their tacos. They're so, oh, wow. The Chinese and their noodles. But
I really hate stereotypes because it really takes away from individuality. A lot of people do use stereotypes. I'm not going to grow up and become a scammer. I'm actually pretty smart, so I think I'll have a good job. And I also hate when people do Indian accents to make fun of me. I clearly I don't talk like that. I don't have an accent like that. You've met my parents. They don't have an accent like that.
No, they don't.
How did they meet your friend?
No, we've met them.
No, people in my class, for example, a lot of people who do that have heard my parents speak, and they've heard me speak. So they must know that not all Indians will have that accent.
And also, most people don't get an accent just based off where they're from. Some people just use it because, not just because they want to make fun of make fun of English. So my parents, they're from Egypt. It's based on what language they speak and the dialect of this language. They have a strong accent. Just because of how you speak your mother tongue.
Accent is just when you're speaking a different language and applying the rules of the language that you know previously.
Definitely. And I think going back to stereotypes is just shouldn't be a way that we judge someone. When we first see someone, we shouldn't think, oh, they're Egyptian, so they must be a terrorist. We shouldn't be saying this.
I also think that it ties into generalization and ignorance, and that's coming from something that actually happened recently. Now, I have darker skin than most people in my class, but I'm not black. So, for example, the N-word would not even apply to me. And a girl in my class called me an effing N-word. And, first of all, I thought that was extremely racist. I hope that she doesn't say that to other people who are actually black. But it doesn't even apply to me. She just thinks because I have darker skin, I would automatically, have the N-word pass or, that word would be even applicable to me.
Yeah, I think that's a big problem. The N-word pass is a big problem because, say, there's a white kid. He's, 10 years old, and he has a friend who is black or brown. They'll go up to him and say, hey, can I have the N-word pass?
I want to sound cool to my Xbox friends.
Exactly.
Yeah.
People have asked you for the N-word
also, even if you're not black, say from a different area of the world, say I've got most people tell me, oh, can you say that N-word to me? I want to hear what it sounds like. It's so cool. I wanna say it. And they don't understand that N-word was used to discriminate a majority of people who were taken from their homes just to work for slavery. Say in the United States around slavery, they used to travel to many different countries, take these quote unquote slaves, and use them because they won't want money. They won't force them for money. They can't defend themselves because they're outpowered, they're outnumbered, or something like that. And we're just used to discriminate against them. Say you're not as white as me.
You're
or,
not as good as.
Yeah, you're not as good as me. You're not as.
And like, I don't get why so many people think it's cool to say it.
Yeah.
Like, they like a lot of people tell me like, oh, I don't want to say it because I'm racist. I want to say it because
Sounds cool.
like I want to be able to say it. But why do you so desperately want to say it? Like, you can use other words. Like,
Yeah, because if you came up to a white person and called them a white cracker, they won't be happy about
and
it.
there's really no reason to want to use that word.
I would say that the N-word is used differently when you are, especially here in Europe or Germany. I think the N-word is used to discriminate against someone, but is used a lot more. You know, not a lot of people get the like the amount of hate if you were in
There
say
isn't like a very
Canada or America, and I think in the US it's used differently as well, especially for Black people. I think they use it as
more,
a bro.
They have more.
They use it as
They have a larger Black population, so because of that, it would be much less normalized. Whereas, like here, especially in the school,
Yes.
we don't have like many Black people, so like more people want to say it.
More people want to say it to sound cool, say, oh, I could say you can. Also, like in the States, it's used just for like around people that are of the same skin color, not usually used. Say a white person, they would say it to a black person, it would be a hate crime. But if a black person would say it to a black person or a brown person or like anyone that's of like a very dark skin tone, they might say it like as a conversational word, not a word of hate or discrimination. But say if a person of say they're a white person, they would use it as a word to sound cool, or maybe
But
yeah.
I also have like a controversial opinion about that word. Like, if a Black artist releases a song with that word in it, you can't really get other people in trouble for singing along to that song.
You can.
I don't think you should just. You can sing along to the song. I just don't think you should sing the word.
You don't have to say.
Like,
You can
I
just
mean,
take a pause and listen to it.
If someone like makes a lot of people consciously try to skip that word, but like maybe if one time you miss it, you don't do that, then it's not the end of the world. You shouldn't be getting death threats for it.
Who's getting
death threats? They just get like
No, there are people who get death threats for it.
Well, okay, if you say let's say in a song, it shouldn't be banned because most artists use it, and like those people like they have the right to use it. But if you sing along to, just probably skip it. That's what I do. I listen to a lot of like songs that might use this word, but I don't sing along with it. Even if people,
Sometimes
if people tell me I can say it because of my skin color or because like Egypt's a country in Africa, I have the word to say I have the right to say this word. You don't have to say it. You can just listen along to the song. You can just skip that part. You just like take a pause, like say
some like if you can consciously do that, sure, but like if you forget to, if you miss it, it's not.
And it's a mistake. Most people don't sing a lot like in the shower. They don't sing in the shower, just like screaming the N word in the middle of a song. Like I sing like this one out of 100 people that can do that.
Yeah, I think it should not be frowned upon if someone were to say it by accident, you know?
Yeah.
If they were to sing the song and they're just vibing along with the song, you know,
They say
and then they say the N-word by accident because they just want to keep on going with the song. Okay.
Oopsie daisy, I said the N-word, mom.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk about the origins of racism.
It was invented by the colonial powers when they first when they first went to Africa, for example. The way that they justified it was by saying that the people living there were like savages, they're uncultured, they're less than us, and that's why we should go there and take over.
Yeah, it's not only people that went to Africa. Also, like in around 1947, when President Truman of the United States, he called the Soviets savages because they hate each other.
If you want to like
Yeah,
justify
racism can also be used just if you hate someone just because of like where they're from. Like it doesn't matter. Okay, so imagine this. So an American president who is white, let's say he's white.
He is.
Yeah, and he hates the Soviet president or the Soviet people, and they're also white. And around that time, the Soviets didn't like any brown people or people of color just because they weren't the same thing. So also white on white racism can happen, same as black on black racism.
I don't think that would be about race though. Like for example, in that situation,
It would be
it's because it was a
nationality. racism.
rival country,
a-
and that's why the president of one country will dislike another country because that's their rival.
That brings me on to the next topic. I want to speak about can people be racist to white people?
A little bit.
That's also a controversial
really
one.
Controversial because I don't think Aisha agrees with it.
I don't. Yeah.
I think
I can.
people can be racist to white people.
Yeah, I think it can. Yes, if you go to a country that's majority like people that are not that are people of color.
Okay, but now here's the thing: like saying mean words to a person because they're white, and like saying like insulting them based on that, it's not the same as other types of racism.
Yeah, but also white people, if they go to a country that's a majority of colored people, they can also be judged for it.
I think it's really easy to figure out. We just need to know the definition of racism, and that's prejudice, discrimination, or by an individual, community, or institution against a person or people on bias of their membership of a particular racial or ethnic group.
And where does that happen?
One that is in minority or marginal.
Well, white people are also part of there's a part of what's the groups? There's the ethnic group, and what is ethnicity? The place where you're from. They have European ethnicity. That's where most like white people are.
Show me the definition again. Because it said institutions, right? By individual, community, or institution.
It does say here typically one that is a minority or marginalized, but that word is typically.
But how many individuals are there that seriously dislike white people because of their skin color?
Colonizers, people that were colonized. Say most people that countries were colonized. They will dislike people that came from them. Like,
didn't Osama bin Laden? He said that to his followers, if you see an American, kill them.
Yeah. Also, yeah. Say in Afghanistan, the Afghanis they didn't even trust the United States military or any other country. They saw them as colonized just because of their skin tone, not because of their country. They're also Polish, British, German.
Those countries were also colonizers.
Yes, they're also colonizers. So you can be you can discriminate to white people depending on where you're from or what you've heard, what you've seen, what you've experienced.
Yeah, and here, you know how I've just mentioned typically minority or marginalized communities. Say a white person, which the majority of people in Africa are black. A white person were to go to Africa, they're now the minority, and the Africans or the black people in Africa are racist to the white person by calling them names, by just being mean overall.
But is that real racism?
Yes,
I would call it racist.
I will call
because I think that real
racism feels that the person is white and they think the person is white.
I mean, there's a difference between saying racist things and actually being racist. They're both problems in my opinion, but actually being racist, because you can say something racist without actually being racist. You don't actually believe that person who is in a different group than you is lesser than you. You don't believe.
But you also do know that there are also like words for white people, like the N-word, that are like in different languages other than English. Like in different African countries, there's like the word that they use against white people. They might call them colonizer instead of actually saying, "Oh, this is a person." They call them colonizer or something. Or they can find a like type of N-word like word that's made for people that is not the same color as them.
I don't think it carries nearly the same weight if you call.
Just because English is a very widespread language, also from the colonization, they force people to learn English. That's why it's so big, it's so important, so well known. But these words, you wouldn't find someone speaking Afrikaans in the middle of the street every single day. Like you'd find someone speaking German, or speaking English, or speaking any European country. In fact, these words and like can be used to different minorities and like different majorities also. So
I mean, like one thing for me is that isn't white skin like the standard of beauty in like almost every country, even countries where the majority of the population has darker skin, the ideal skin standard will be light skin.
Well, these countries have more than one skin color. Like I'll say, most people say Africans are black, but they actually are not. I am like brown. Yeah, my dad, he has dark skin color. But my mom, she also has light skin. She's like she can pass for white here in Germany. Like it doesn't matter on like what the beauty standard is, like depending on skin color. It depends on the type of people in one country, what they look like, what are the different types of skin color, and like ways people like look like so the beauty.
Yeah, within countries that also have that have a majority of people with darker skin, the standard is still light skin.
Well, also like most people that are white and people look up to, or the beauty standard is also because a lot of celebrities, they might come out of a white, like quote unquote white country.
Well, I mean, if you think about like the origins of racism, it was invented by white people to justify cruel actions to countries which were populated by people with darker skin. That's why the standard is light skin.
Yeah, well, like also like I mentioned before, also a lot of people just look up to these like white people, because say if you go on Instagram, you'll see always these models that have like blonde hair, blue eyes.
Well, of course, they have light skin because that is the beauty standard. That's why models will have lighter skin most of the
Yeah,
time.
they might have lighter skin. Like you always see people like being more attracted to a person who's like these standards, white skin, blonde eyes,
Because that is the standard.
or blue eyes. Yeah, it's the standard. Yeah.
That's why people would be like,
Yeah, I've got some statistics on models. 55.8% of all models are white.
so already the majority.
17.1% are black or African American, and 12% of those, the rest, are Hispanic or Latino.
The rest.
The 12%. And that goes back to your point, guys, that it's just they look up to the white people because they're the standard.
It's standard. That's why.
And also most films now, or like films that, because like a lot of people don't always watch the films, always come like,
That's actually a good point because like
Yeah.
a lot of there's no way to like you can be criticized for any way that you cast a black actor. It like if the black actor is the villain, that's racist. If it's the hero who like I don't know, dies or something,
that's racist.
yeah, and then if it's just no black people, it's also racist. Only
Also, if a black
people.
person kills another black person.
Don't they also like say there's the actor Kevin Hart? He's black, but he's also a comedian. But they always choose the black guy as the laugh out loud, funny.
Yeah, like the black actor is only there for
like
comedy.
black comedians. Like they might say, oh, they're funnier or something. And also, if you realize in most films, also
Can you actually name? I don't know if I can say off the top of my head a comedian that's white.
I could say some New
Brad
Zealand, but
Williams, Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler's not a comedian.
No, Brad
is he?
is a midget that's a comedian. You know.
no, I don't. But I can name a couple New Zealand comedians.
Yeah. But also, okay, like back to the recent topic. Let's say if in a movie, like say a Marvel movie, you have a comic. The comic, you have a white person in that film, in the comic. And then in the film interpretation, they might put a black actor or a black person in the comic, and you put them as a white actor. If you say it both ways, say, oh, that's racist. Or they say if they put a white actor on a white person in the comic, oh, like why didn't you put a black actor?
I definitely think now,
But it also connects to the whole Little Mermaid fiasco.
I think nowadays the people who make movies, the directors, the casting people, they want to have more diversity
because it's
in
like
their cast.
trendy.
Yet there's some people out there who say it's not like the original, and how we like it because there's
Like also
black person in the main role
They're
who
afraid
is
of what's
usually made for a white person.
Yeah, they're afraid of what's called cancel culture. Like the same couple
yeah.
get sucked.
But like for example,
They cancel
Little
everything that they
Mermaid,
find racist, sexist, homophobic, and they like cancel it immediately. Cancel like just when they
Yeah,
find
it's
something
done for.
they don't like it.
not successful. But like also with the Little Mermaid thing, I don't think it's a problem that she was black and became Ariel. But I also like saw other people talking about how you don't need to have a character that was white and then cast them black just to seem diverse. You could create a whole new story where the character's already black. Like, what if they had made a live action of Tiana, like Princess and the Frog? Like, no one would complain. But like, movies, like animated movies, which were already diverse, like for example, Moana or Raya and the Lost Dragon, they're really good by themselves.
Yeah, and in my opinion, I think like those now animated Disney movies with, say, a lesbian couple or a black protagonist are less popular than their other movies. I mean, there are some exceptions. I mean, Moana's became quite big.
Encanto.
Encanto's big.
Extent like the Maori population.
Maori?
The Moana like represent like the
No, she represents the Polynesian islands.
Polynesian. Oh,
And I mean, this is not to do with racism, but this is the example that I'm thinking of. There's that Buzz Lightyear movie, and they've got that lesbian couple, and it hasn't been that popular. It's
1 second.
Yeah, it's not that popular because of that one scene.
yeah, it was
No, because that one scene was like for a second when they were near each other, kind of, and I guess it wasn't that popular because of like how it was banned in a lot of countries and caused a lot of controversy.
Yeah, especially most Muslim countries, because like India, also most of that like inappropriate scenes, like sex scenes or like kissing scenes, they're also usually removed from that final cut, or like the movie's entirely banned just because of like religion. Like I also know this. Most movies like you find here in Germany or in any other European country, you probably won't find them in Saudi Arabia, Egypt, or any strictly Muslim country. They find it because like it's against the religion. Also to watch it's also considered sin. Like I said, just like they're just trying to like seem more diverse. Like say Disney because they make more protagonists that are like colored, or they add lesbian couples, gay couples, or a multiracial couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, they seem more diverse, but most people might relate to the old movies. Like say if someone says like I saw this comparison like on social media, they said okay the new Buzz Lightyear movie, oh it represents something bad, it's not good as like the old movies. Like say watch Toy Story, it will say oh that's peak cinema, it's the best.
I can't even remember Toy Story. I think I maybe watched the first one, but I didn't like it at all.
How dare you? That's just heresy. That was my.
I think that, but I think I did like Cars.
Personalist.
I think that we should have more diversity in movies. 100%.
Yeah, like representation.
Yes,
People will realize it, and they know like they're trying too hard.
Yeah, but if they're trying too hard to get too much diversity,
then you're not even trying for diversity. You just want to be successful and exploit.
You just want to look good to the people.
Yeah.
But if you make a mix of the two, then it'll be good.
If you're just like actually choosing actors based on merit, like actually that's how they did it in Little Mermaid. They picked that actress because she sang the song better than everyone else. That's the actual reason why they
people
picked
should be chosen on talent, not on like their skin color.
Yeah.
Like you said, like in the interview with the.
I guess that also connects to we're trying to define racism, but I guess how you are not racist. It's not when you are trying to like promote colored people over white people. It's like actual equality, like you're picking them based on who's more talented.
Yeah, that's what we should do. We should not look up people based on their skill color. You don't want to look better to people. You want to find people with pure talent, no matter their skin color, race, religion, ideologies, their way of having relationships. People, it does not matter.
But also, like when companies like make more diverse movies, for example, it's not racist to say that movie is bad because it was bad. It's bad because of the production, not the fact that it's diverse.
It shouldn't be based on
like for example, Turning Red.
Oh yeah.
That was like objectively not a good movie.
Yeah, it was just.
But there's like other movies, from like about China, for example, that are not bad.
I think it definitely depends on where you're from. Here, I know in Europe, in North America, majority of people are white, and that's why they have white actors, and white. That's why white.
But the issue
is such a big thing. And say we move on to China, we move on to South Korea. Their most popular actors are Asian.
But yeah, but like also the Asians who have lighter skin, not Asians with darker skin.
But also,
Like, okay, that is a country I can talk about, like for standards in K-pop, for example. There are like Asians who have darker skin, tan skin, and that's most of the time just doesn't fit the standards. Like, there are very strict beauty standards in Korea. They have a whole list of them for women and men, and darker skin is definitely on the things you shouldn't have.
But there's also popular movies like here in Europe or North America. I don't know. There's Crazy Rich Asian. That's
Yeah,
all
also
American Asian cast. You know.
I like
but
that.
also that that movie's called Bao. It's a short movie by Disney. It's really popular because it shows like a family. It's like think of like Chinese synth. I found the movie. It's called Bao. It's about this.
It's like a short film, right?
Yeah, it's like a short film where the mother said like that her sons he lives in he's in a relationship with like an American woman, and she raises a dumpling as a child. Like I know that the script is kind of weird, but people love it. It also shows diversity. That movie is actually good. They show a good story with a good way of like showing diversity at the same time people enjoy it. This is like a short movie, 7 minutes, but has very
I don't know why, but that reminds me of another short film I watched, where this ball of yarn was somehow alive and it got a job in a corporate office building, and it was like at first discriminated against for being a ball of yarn. And now that I'm thinking about it, maybe it had some kind of like racial subtext.
Okay, I don't mean this in a bad way, but how?
It's an animated short film from Pixar for kids, like not too deep.
But also, okay, I just have one say also about okay, you guys know the film series Star Wars, of course. It like I said,
Honestly, I've never watched it, not even one movie.
I fell asleep during one of them. So.
how dare you? It's just okay. Say like if you I've seen this series called The Mandalorian. It's about this like person.
Yeah, with Baby Yoda.
Yeah, baby. Yeah. People are like it. So it shows a Hispanic actor acting like as a
Alien.
no, not a he's a human. That no, but what I like about Star Wars, it shows like instead of showing like black people, white people, Asian people, Hispanic people, it shows different species of like Star Wars aliens. Instead of showing diversity to like a big extent by showing a lesbian couple and a black person in the corner or something like that, it instead shows different species of like these characters. Instead of trying too hard, you show a plot to maybe like these Star Wars fans or like another fan verse.
So what we're saying is that the directors are forcing diversity onto movies too much,
We're all telling.
and if we just have it normal diversity, normal cast, and we should be forcing that diversity, like ruining the movie.
Yeah, forcing diversity just so the audience likes it.
Exactly.
And not because
And usually they don't like
They're
it
not
because of that diversity.
doing it for cancel culture.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cancel culture is the main thing here, and if you can get good diversity in your movie, kudos to them. Yeah. Any other points, guys?
No, I don't think so.
So then let's try and define racism. What would you say it is now?
Like based on what I saw, racism is discrimination based on someone's race, their religion, their ethnicity, and like the pure factor of hating someone just because of their religion, or not religion, sorry.
Race.
Yeah, based on their race, religion, ethnicity.
Well, racism has the word race in it, so yeah, so for race.
It's mainly race, and like religion and ethnicity can be like mixed into it, but like it's based on the pure fact of hating someone based on their skin color, not based on what their ideologies are, who they
Can
are.
I add a fancy word in for hate? Prejudiced against a person of different background, different color, different ethnicity. Okay. Thank you for listening to our first episode. We
hope you come back for the next one. Thank you.